Good morning, Psychic Medium Danielle Garcia with your energy forecast for the week. A few days late, so sorry. Today is May 5th, 2021. How are you all doing? How are you all dealing with these interesting energies that continue to carry on, right? Schumann Resonance has just been off chart, spiking here, spiking there. If you actually view the graph of the Schumann, it's pretty incredible to see the way that it's spiking and to see all this white vibration showing through on the graph. There's so many different theories as to why this is happening now. Some people believe that this is opening up a space for our ascension. Some people believe that this is opening up a space for other dimensions to connect with ours. Some people believe that quantumly time and space is moving forward, that time is moving faster. I sit with it with my guides, and honestly, I don't want to dive too deep into that because I think there's a lot more information than just what meets the eye. I do know that this is shifting our consciousness. I do know that this is shifting our DNA. It's shifting our energy fields, etc., etc., etc. So it will be interesting to see how this progresses. The Schumann resonance has been so wild over the last year. Interesting how that coincides with pandemic. Interesting also how that coincides with a lot of secret information about aliens coming out too. Just file that one in the back of your brain. See what happens in June, and we'll kind of all be impressed, surprised, or whatever at that time, right? So let's talk about this week. We got Schumann going crazy and lots of energies coming in. Many empaths and sensitives are really, really feeling this hardcore physically. I have had reported to me ear issues, ringing in the ear, digestive issues, headaches, sleep disturbances, really wild dreams, and just a feeling of like when's the other shoe gonna drop? What's gonna happen? Like anxiety has really, really been revved up. So things to do for that, again, fall back on your tools, fall back on those things that you work with to balance out your energy, whether that's yoga, tai chi, qigong, taking a walk, taking a nap. Look for things that are grounding for you. Chocolate, red meat, root vegetables. Also hydrate. Stones that are great for grounding: Kababa jasper, black tourmaline, hematite, anything that you gravitate towards, honestly. Just because it says this is the stone for that in a certain book, if you gravitate towards something else and it makes you feel better, go for it. Our frequencies are all different, and even the stones that they mention in the books are different as well. One tourmaline is not another tourmaline, so to speak. So absolutely follow your intuition. What your gut says will help you feel better. Mercury is currently in Gemini. So how's your communication going? This is the time to really be real. This is the time to be authentic, because people are going to start seeing through your bullshit, FYI. Look for different red flags, look for different issues with that. If you're trying to wear that societal mask and pretend to be something that you're not, chances are someone's going to discover you this week. Chances are the old behaviors of manipulation or thinking you have to be this certain way with this certain person just isn't going to jive. Really watch your words this week. Words matter. Words always matter, of course, but because communication is so hot and bothered this week, really watch what you say. This is not the time to remove the filter and just let it all go. This is a time to choose carefully. Be authentic, be truthful, be pure, but watch how you speak your truth. Speaking your truth again is super important, but watch how you lay it out there. If you can lay out your truth in such a way that people perceive it and receive it easily and readily, isn't that better than having to scream it and shove it down someone's throat? Absolutely, right? Today, 5/5. Okay, we got May 5th, 2021 adds up to a number 5 as well. So today is the beginning of the 555 portal. Lots and lots of energies coming in. This is a time for release. This is a time for connecting with your guides, connecting with your intuition, connecting with old wounds. This is the perfect time for healing. So if you've got something on your chest that you want to, release, if you've been holding something in your heart, if you've been working on those shadow beds but haven't quite moved too far in them, perhaps you want to take a closer look at those things. Perhaps you want to dig a little bit deeper in those areas. This 555 portal can shake you up, absolutely, but it can shake you up in a good way, meaning that those things that you've just been holding those things that you hold back on for yourself will come to the surface. You will be reminded, the universe is going to remind you in some way, form, or fashion of, hey, check this out, look at this, now we need to go in this direction. Oh, you left this loose end untied. Now we got to tie this up. Now we got to finish it out. Now we got to have closure. Now you have to make that doctor appointment. Now you have to talk to that ex. Now you have to block that family member. Now you have to put in that job application, whatever that loose end might be. So take a look at your life and take a look at what you've been holding on to that you're just like, you know what, screw it. Let's just go forward. Let's just push forward. I know it's not going to feel all rainbows and puppies, but I'm going to do it anyway because life on the other side is going to be so much better. The 8th, Venus moves into Gemini. That's the time to take a good hard look at relationships. Mostly relationships with family and friends. Some romantic relationship issues may come up, but definitely all about relationships. How we define ourselves based on our relationships. Are we defining ourselves per our relationships? Do we have a separate identity? Do we only identify ourselves in a relationship? How can we be our authentic true self within a relationship and still speak our truth? Remember, there's a huge difference between sacrificing yourself in a relationship and compromising yourself not compromising yourself, just compromising. Let's not compromise ourselves in a relationship. That's the next video. No, just kidding. So big difference between sacrifice and compromise. You don't have to be a doormat to stay in a relationship. You can be your powerful self. You can be your vulnerable self, but you don't have to sacrifice just for that other person for the sake of staying in the relationship. So this week, we're going to take a deeper look at that as well. Themes for this week. You. This is all about how you feel, how you interact with other people, and how you're taking care of yourself. Are you taking care of yourself? Another thing, where's the joy in your life? Where is it? How do you derive joy? How do you bring that into your life? What are you doing in your life right now that brings you joy for you? Now, moms out there, this can't be, oh, my kids bring me joy. Absolutely they do, but you can't live your life for your kids, or your life's going to be pretty empty, and sooner or later, you're going to end up resenting them. You can't live your life for your significant other or your work. So what do you live in your life for you? What brings you joy? It's so interesting to me. I read for a lot of people. And when guides tap me on the shoulder and tell me to ask the client, okay, what are you doing for yourself that brings you joy? What's making you happy in your life right now? I would tell you probably about 90% of the women that I ask that to, stop. They don't speak. they look like a deer in the headlights. And if they do start to tell me something, it will be, well, my family brings me joy. My work brings me joy. My dog brings me joy. Those are all wonderful things that bring happiness into your life. But what truly sparks joy just for you? What are you doing in your life for you? And this doesn't have to be anything, huge and grand. This can be, TikTok, watching stupid videos. That sparks joy for me during the day. It could be reading. It could be working out. It could be travel. It could be writing. It could be cooking. It could be painting. It could be volunteering, all sorts of different things. But really take a look at you this week. So incredibly important. I got to tell you, May is lining up to be the most energetic month of the entire freaking year. Okay, we got a blood moon coming in later on in the month. Mercury goes freaking retrograde on the 29th. We've got pre-shadow of retrograde coming in on the 15th. There's just a lot of stuff going on in May. So stay balanced. Get going on whatever your daily practice is, whether that's prayer, meditation, balancing your chakras, sound healing, going for a run, taking your dog for a walk, going to the gym, whatever that is. Balance, 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 balance. Some of these energies that have been coming in, when you mix the Schumann with other astrological stuff going on, and then open up a portal, which there's another portal coming to be opened up in May, the Pleiadian portal also. A lot of empaths have been reporting to me. They've kind of been knocked down and down for the count. So it's kind of like the weather, right? There's a freaking tornado coming along. So it's time to board up all of the windows, and it's time to get your staples lined up, whatever you need. It doesn't mean that that life is going to come to a halt. It doesn't mean that it's going to be super awful terrible. But when you prepare for it, you're ready, right? So get prepared. Today I am pulling from The Power of Surrender cards by Judith Orloff. And there's the cover right here. First card that comes up. Surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. What a beautiful card, right? So what are you holding back on? When we are afraid to connect with other people, or we're feeling less than, or other insecurities or fears pop up about that, most of the time it's the fear of being vulnerable. And you really can find strength in vulnerability. When we are vulnerable and we open ourselves up to another human being, I'm not counting narcissists in there, by the way. So yeah, I'll probably pay for that later. When we open up ourselves, other people recognize, wow, that person's vulnerable. I can relate to that. I'm vulnerable too about other things. So remember, you can find strength in vulnerability. Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity and even solve the problem. What a powerful card that is. So relationships, right? Relationships. What would happen if you just surrendered that to spirit? Say, you know what? I can't handle this anymore. I don't know where this is going. I have no freaking clue, and it's stressing me the hell out. So I'm going to hand this over to you, spirit. Please guide me. Please show me truth. Please send signs. Please show me the way. I'll tell you, I've done that time after time again. When I can be in that amazing vibration of surrender, miracles happen, and miracles that are completely unexpected I have witnessed. Last one, and this one flew out of the deck. Surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Back to relationships again. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. Surrender to setting limits. Again, big difference between sacrifice and compromise. It's time to be the authentic you. Why? Because you're freaking wonderful. Why hide it anymore, right? Just be authentic. Be in your truth. The people that matter won't mind. And the people that mind don't really matter. Have a blessed week. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. Staying balanced, staying hydrated, and keeping those good vibes flowing.